and gradually walking on to the top of the hill where we have, ladies and gentlemen, Kigezi High School. As you can see, it's still raining. There are some days I wish I were a duck, because ducks are built for rain, and I wasn't. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel here at Global Power of Faith. My name is Pastor Dennis. For those of you that are visiting for the first time, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'm here sending you this video shoot from Kabale. And on this occasion we're going to the other side of town. I'm also going to include a little clip of a little tourist destination not far away from here, in the village where my parents grew up. But at the onset I thought I would take a little bit of a walk to the other side of town, and got absolutely pelted with rain. It's gone a little bit chilly and wet. As I left the guest house where I'm staying at the moment, it was fairly dry, it wasn't that wet. But right now it is raining sporadically on and off. There was a spell early on when it was absolutely pouring it down, and I walked right into it. Anyhow, we're here on the road to Chisoro. This is the other side of town. This is the road going out to Chisoro district and to the Virunga Mountains. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a video just kind of showcasing this other side of town. I'm going to be walking up one of the hills, Rugarama Hill, which for those of you that went to Kigezi High School, you will be familiar with this hill. And I hope to bring you what beauty this place conjures up. It's an amazing spot in the southwestern corner of Uganda. So stay buckled up, and we've got trucks sort of hooting along as they go along. Although the trucks here will be going probably to Chisoro itself, to the town. Some of them will be going to the Democratic Republic of Congo, or the DRC as it's otherwise known. So yeah, it's quite a busy road. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So this road to Chisoro district, it begins its windy meandering here just on the outskirts of Kabale town, and you can see in the not too distant, in the not so far distance, the hills that would encompass the windiness of the road going all the way up to, it kind of climbs all the way up to this height where you can see the Virunga Mountains. Those of you that have been following or subscribe to this channel, you will be aware that I did a video earlier on the Virunga range, the Mwavura range of mountains. Anyhow, so this road basically, yeah, you can see the scenery that it invites you, if you were to carry on along it, that it actually entices you to some amazing scenery going all the way up to the Virunga Mountains. But we're actually going to branch right to go up this hill. It's called Rugarama Hill. You can see there's a Rugarama hospital there, and part of my mission is to go up to the high school where my dad went, Kigezi High School, and to see what there is to see up there. So we're going to be branching off from the main road, turning right, and see what there is to see. So this is just a quick video shoot of Rugarama Hospital. It's like one of the big hospitals around here. There's a sign to it just there, and it's kind of all of this place. That's the hospital itself, just on the other side of the road, as you can see. And it's specializes a lot in midwifery, I don't know how you'd say that, nursing, that sort of thing. So yeah, Rugarama Hospital. Got something blocking the sign there. And the hills just overlooking it. As you can see, the clouds are looking ominous. I am probably gonna get pelted again with rain, but there we go. Sometimes it is worth it. And so here begins my ascent up Rugarama Hill. So it looks like there's a football game going on there. So it's really fascinating when you decide to get out and go walking. Some of the things that you come across. Looks like there's a football game going on in the rain. Look at that cloud. Oh my goodness. Looks like the world is gonna end with that. It's absolutely ominous. I did my laundry earlier and stuck some clothes on the line. And when I left home, it was really nice and sunny. I can't help but think those clothes on the line are gonna be a little bit wet. But yeah, so I'm gonna walk up this hill. This is Rugarama Hill. Behind me, I'm leaving the hospital on the right, I believe. Ministry of Water, I think it is, Water Development building there. And we're going up the hill. Apparently, this would have been part of the journey that Dad would have taken walking up to the school. Oh wow, look at this. Yeah, back in the day, Dad would have walked all the way from the village. Those of you that saw my previous video where I walked to the village from Makanga, which is kind of, you can just about see a little bit of the other side of Makanga Hill on there. So what Dad would have done would have walked all the way from the village to here, which would have probably taken him, I mean, it took me from Makanga Hill to the village, it took me about, it took me ages actually, because I was walking quite slowly, to be honest. But if I was to walk straight, make a beeline for the village, as it were, it would probably take me an hour and a half of really quick walking. And to get here would probably be another hour. So Dad probably had a 2-hour trek to school every morning. They used to get up ridiculously early in the morning, and they had to be here for quite early, quite the beginning of the start of the day. This is Kigezi High School. Just a quick correction there, it says Kigezi High School Primary. So it appears this is the primary part of the school, the primary school, being the sort of first 7 years, I believe it is, that the kids here go through after nursery. So this is the primary school. I'm guessing the secondary would be up the hill. So I'm gonna carry on venturing up there. Here comes the rain. There's no avoiding it, unfortunately, so I'm gonna get completely wet. There we go. And gradually walking on to the top of the hill, where we have, ladies and gentlemen, Kigezi High School. As you can see, it's still raining. There are some days I wish I were a duck, because ducks are built for rain, and I wasn't. Anyhow, so this is Kigezi High School, and this is where my dad went to school, and yeah, this is where his journey would have ended after trekking from the village. And then imagine having to set off in the evening again, come whatever weather you get, and it does rain here. It does really pelt it down in this sort of semi-equatorial climate. But yeah, I've just been soaked, and I can imagine for them walking to and from school would have been quite an experience. So once again we have Kigezi High School. But hey, I made it. to the school. I don't know whether I'll be able to get in. I might just sort of ask at the gate to see if it's possible to just have a sneak peek. But yeah, this is Kigezi High School. I just wanted to add that there are some times when you set off on a journey and you look at the clouds and it looks like you're gonna get wet, basically. But something within you still drives you. Something within you still says, I'm gonna go off on this journey because there's something I'm gonna get at the end of it. And you know, I can imagine, like, for my dad and for his compatriots around about that time, when they would have had to set off from the village to come to school, how that for them was the beginning of a journey. Certainly for my dad, that was the beginning of quite a journey it's been, really. It's taken him to all sorts of places in Africa, all sorts of corners in Africa, Swaziland, West Africa, Gambia, whatever. And yet he just set off really from the village, and he would come here every day. And I thought, what a good little metaphor, picture of how sometimes in life you've got to embark on that journey. You just have to set off. You know, if you stay in the comfort zone, if you stay looking at the clouds and you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's gonna rain and I'm just gonna stay at home because it's a lot more cozy at home, there's so much in life generally you miss out, and sometimes it's worth just getting wet. Get out there as I am right now and be that duck that just sort of wades out into it, and come what may, who knows where the journey will take you. So yeah, here we are at Kigezi High School. I'm quite excited. This is amazing. This place is of significance to our family because it's somewhere that obviously opened doors. There's some places in life that open doors for you and for other people, what I call destiny moments, and certainly this, I think, is one of them for us as a family. So here I am at Kigezi High School. So, guys, we're here at St. Peter's Church in Rugarama. St. Peter's Church on Rugarama Hill. And actually, it's a cathedral. It's St. Peter's Cathedral. Very high up on the hill. It's got quite a nice view of the rest of Kabale looking down on the other side. But yeah, here we are at St. Peter's Cathedral in Kabale, in Rugarama. I'm excited. I think I'm going to have a wander in, see what there is to see. I can hear some music, so there might be some rehearsals that are going on. And yeah, I hope you can join us. And oh wow, it's freezing. It's actually cold because it's just rained, it's poured down, it's bucketed down. And so I'm a little bit chilly, but I will wander in and have a look and see what there is to see. It's really nice the way they've laid it out with this brick. Probably been locally sourced brick. And you can just about see they're getting ready for the Sunday service. Really nice interior. Very beautiful. Very, very quaint. This is what I understand the second version of the cathedral. There is the older chapel, which apparently was the Mark 1, if you like, and this is the upgrade. It's got quite a lot of history to do with this place, and it's a lot of people who've been involved with the Anglican Church will be familiar with St. Peter's Cathedral here in Rugarama. I like the stained glass that they've got all over the place. That's going up to the altar, I guess. And they've got the stained glass up there. And then the wooden rafters up at the top that are quite fascinating. It's quite a nice simple design with the brick wall, and it looks like they're putting some decorations, just about getting ready for the service on Sunday. Yeah, so this is St. Peter's Cathedral in Rugarama. Fascinating place. Just gonna wander in a little bit more, see what there is to see around here. Looks like there's a little bit of a courtyard out there. I'll see if I can just have a wander and apply a little bit of curiosity. They do have a little bit of a courtyard out here, which is quite snazzy. That there is the old chapel, which was the original one that was built in colonial times. So that's, if you like, that's the Mark 1 of the cathedral, St. Peter's Cathedral. Looks like the worship band is in full swing. They're doing the rehearsals. I can just about hear the drums and the vocalists kind of going for it there. So this is the original one, the original St. Peter's Cathedral. Who would have thought you get such amazing architecture here in Kawari? St. Peter's Cathedral, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thunk it, hey? It's quite pretty, I think. I like the fact that it's tucked away. It's not everybody knows about it. You've got to go out of your way purposefully to look for it. But when you do find it, it's quite a nice, quaint building. So I am kind of curious to find out where that music is coming from. I'm a musician myself, so whenever I hear music, I have a degree of curiosity about it. Sounds like it's the worship band. Some really good vocalists there. It's one thing with the people in this part of the country, they love singing, by the way. They're very musical and they love their singing. You can see some umbrellas, so they're probably rehearsing. I'm probably not gonna go and interrupt them as they're probably, it's the worship band. Hello. But yeah, you can just about see the hills in the background. We are here on Rugarama Hill, one of many hills in this part of Uganda, and that's the old St. Peter's Chapel, the old cathedral, and this is the new one. I'm gonna wander back into it. And there's a little child crying. Not quite sure why. So I'm gonna wander back in and out through the main entrance, and we're here at St. Peter's Cathedral in Rugarama. It's really nice seeing that they've got quite a youthful music group. It's nice seeing young people, I think, involved in church, because there are places in the world where the church is the mainstay for the older folk. The young people probably don't feel they can identify with it or whatever, for whatever reason. They don't want to participate in church. Did you know, by the way, just as a fun fact, it has been proven statistically that attending church is actually healthy for you. It's actually been proven, apparently, and there's some doctors in the UK who, and the US, I think it was as well, who researched this, who did some research on the impact of church on the human being. And they found that Christians who attended church regularly were, generally speaking, healthier and happier for it, that it actually was something they could measure statistically, that actually church, oh, that's Revival Radio. Oh my goodness. This is the home of Revival Radio. I listened to this radio from the United Kingdom. I just seen Revival Radio FM. I had no idea this is where they broadcast from. The Iraka Obusinjuzi. Oh my goodness. I should try not to embarrass myself, for those of you that are looking at this thinking, what is he saying? Eiraka, which literally means a voice, kind of actually literally means a throat. Eiraka Riobusinjuzi, which is of God's goodness, God's loving kindness, I guess, Obusinjuzi. Anyhow, I might have got that completely wrong. Those Vachiga amongst us will probably correct me. Feel free to put a comment and put me in the right if I've got that wrong. But this is the home of Revival Radio. I love Revival Radio. I listen to them in the United Kingdom. They have various programs that they run online, and one of the reasons I love them is they're an opportunity for me to hear the gospel in my mother tongue, in Ruchiga, because they do a lot of programs where the whole thing from beginning to end is just Ruchiga. They're just speaking Ruchiga the whole time. So they're one of my favorite. They do once a month overnight prayer meetings that you can follow, basically, and it's like an overnight kesha, and I can't remember what day of the month it is off the top of my head right now. I had it just this morning, actually, but yeah, once a month it is possible. You can probably look them up online. They have an overnight, what they call kesha, overnight prayer meeting. Now, I was just intrigued to see what the view of the town is from here, and there's a curious bit of me that wanted to just have a quick sneak, a look at what it looks like. Now, you can just about see Kavale town down there, bits of it, and it's starting to get a bit dark. It's going towards, well, it's about 5:30 in the evening, so I need to probably start wandering back, and the hill where I'm currently guest housing, Makanga, is sort of behind there somewhere, so I'm going to have to figure out how to get back as quickly as I can before it gets dark. Some more clips of St. Peter's Church with the view overlooking Kigezi High School down there, and the hills in the backdrop. I did ask at the gate of the school if it were possible to go in, and they said probably not, but they were happy for me to take pictures, and they asked me a little bit about what my interest was with the school, and why it was that I was interested. Anyhow, it was built back in colonial times, I believe, and it bears a lot of historical significance for this area. But yeah, St. Peter's Church. The school, Kigezi High School, is just down there, not far away. Just thought I'd flag this place, Hornby High School. Constance Hornby is one of the missionaries who really inspiring lady. You can look her up. She ended up being a missionary to this part of the world, and a lot of things are named in her memory. Hornby High School is one of them, and Constance Hornby is one of these people. She just left the United Kingdom. She had virtually no qualifications, never taught or anything, and yet established so many things in this part of the world just out of obedience, out of her service to God as a missionary. And this is one of those places, Hornby High School. Can hear some music going on in the buildings here, down here, which are Kigezi High School buildings, and it's probably the boys going about their preparations for Sunday service. But yeah, this is Hornby High School. The journey to the way to Hornby High School. Really fascinating lady. I'll put some links maybe in the comment section, just so that, or in the description section, so you can look her up. So this is the walk back down Rugarama Hill, and down there somewhere is the primary school, Kigezi High School, primary school if you like. They look like they've had their fair amount of rain there, and the fields are abandoned, and I'm wandering back down to Kawale, to the town, where hopefully I'll be able to make my way back to the guest house as it's getting dark. So once again, guys, we're down at the village, and we're just wandering over to one of the local tourist attractions around here. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's just rained. My feet are covered in mud, and you can see pools of water. It's just absolutely bucketed it down, and I am embarking on a little trek, if you will join me, and we're gonna just show you one of the local, whoops, bit slippery, one of the local attractions around here. It's actually, what I'll do is not divulge the secret until we get there. I'll whet your appetite for what it is, and let you see it when we get there. Some of you will probably already know, based on the fact that I'm on the path that I'm taking. Some of you are familiar with this path and will probably already be guessing where I'm headed to. This is a very pretty part of the country, and it's the village where my dad grew up. Up there, somewhere at the top, is the road going out to Kabale from Kampala, the main road. Don't think you can see it that clearly, but it's quite nice that it's rained, so it's kind of cleared off a lot of the morning haze that there was. So let's just wander on. Love this bit because you can see down into the valley below, and you've got some trees. It's quite pretty. But yeah, let me just take you down there. Oops, try not to fall in the process. We've got a pair of weaver birds, what are called weaver birds. They're very common in Africa. They sort of chirp away. Oop, one's disappeared. They've got this yellow, I don't know if you can see it. There we are. It's disappeared. They have this yellow breast on them, and the male, I think, is a slightly grayer kind of breast, but it's still got a tinge of yellow. They're great little birds. They chirp away. They're kind of one of those features that remind me of Africa. Amazing view, as you can see. So the path carries on. It looks like somebody's burning something up there. No idea what. And you can just about make out the banana plantations up there. Somebody's got loads of bananas growing up there. But yeah, we are carrying on to the surprise destination. That some of you already know where this is leading to, but some of you, obviously, surprises are best kept as surprises. So here we go. we have made it to our destination. And just introduce you all to the cave, or to the locals known as Uivare. The cave, the rock cave. Really interesting seeing all this growth coming from the top. I don't think I've seen it. I think it looks like it's gonna cover the whole thing shortly. With the way it's rained, there's so much overgrowth that the cave will soon be a covered cave. So it's quite a fascinating little cave. Remember, we used to come down here when we were younger, and we would sometimes play games here. You can light fires here. Apparently, it used to be, there's a fair bit of history to do with it. It used to be inhabited. It used to be an actual dwelling for people before it was abandoned. But yeah, here we are at the cave, which is kind of one of the local attraction spots, if you like. It's got a lot of history locally to do with the people and the culture. People used to come here and celebrate, have various things, various events and sort of cultural things that would happen here. And now it's just kind of abandoned as a tourist location with amazing past and history. In the evenings, they'll obviously be frequented by bats, and it's can be a bit of a scary, spooky place to be in the night. But it's a fascinating cave. It's not that big, but makes for a good little curious spot. The cave of Kavali or Uivale.